Hey YouTube, it's SithLord04, and this is a peek behind the curtain for my NES Jab video. If you've ever wondered how I put these videos together, or you just have a love for seeing how the sausage is made, this is for you. Sit back and enjoy.
Right off the bat, covering the Jab was just a wee bit different compared to the vids I did on the aftermarket 64 controllers and two different breeds of striker. The 64 controller vid was born from my own search and finding the least shitty aftermarket controller for the system and being a bit frustrated with the lack of concise information on YouTube. The wired striker vid wrote itself. This piece of shit combusted in less than a day, leaving me both pissed and laughing at its horrendous build quality and how no one on YouTube mentioned it brick Sonic Adventure. Whereas its wireless younger brother was my curiosity going, did they manage to fuck this one up too? But the Jab? I just laughed when I saw this pop up on the Retro Fighters website when getting screenshots for the Wired Striker video, and knew I had to get one for the sake of comedy and crucifixion. When covering aftermarket controllers, I usually play through a game that I know pretty well, but just like the Brawler 64 and Ocarina of Time, the Jab was a big fat did not finish due to how much it physically hurt to use. I wish I was joking, but when basic movements and Super fucking Mario Brothers are giving me cramps and pains courtesy of dogshit materials and design, congratulations, a fuck up is you. I ran through as much as I could without the camera rolling to confirm that the additional buttons and shit were indeed absolutely pointless, and once all that was done, we start the script. For me, writing is the easiest part of the process. It can take maybe 3 days to a week depending on outside factors for the script to be written and make changes as needed. I definitely prefer using actual script writing software because of the formatting, and oh lord, fade-in is such a godsend! The keyboard shortcuts alone make the process so much easier, and when it's printed out, the text is nice and fucking readable. I'll mark up the B-roll sections with pen for a shot list, and since I'm the only one reading this, my chicken scratch gets the job done. The biggest thing on the to-do list was all the table shots. Filming them is the easy part. Setting everything up is a bit of a bitch. It takes about 15 minutes or so of rearranging my room, pulling the lights and stands out, setting up the camera, you get the idea. But once it's all said and done, we have a nice little mini studio of sorts. We got the old trusty Vixia HFG50 with the remote running to where I'll be standing for easy operation, a single light placed overhead, and one of those 5-in-1 reflectors you can find off Amazon, stripped naked for some nice diffusion. Filming ran for just under an hour, and once that's squared away, the last thing to do before putting everything back is shoot the thumbnail. Same light, only now we break out the trusty 7D, 50mm macro lens, and with the power of Photoshop, we go from this to this. The second easiest part of the process is recording the voiceover. Setting up doesn't even take 5 minutes. This interface from CAD Audio is a freaking godsend, and fuck me, I should have gotten one years ago instead of January 2025. Easy plug and play into the computer, 2 XLR ports, and the microphone I've had for years is sounding so goddamn crisp. All the recording is done straight into Audition with the effects rack powered on, so everything is where I want it from the get-go. This was about half an hour, give or take, and not a bad way to spend a Saturday morning. The talking head pieces require setting up, but not to the degree of the table shots. This is infinitely less painful than the rearranged dance, even with factoring in 2 lights, the microphone, and naked reflector. Did you know that a GameCube with a cutting board on top can support a small tripod with a camera? It's a little ratchet, but works quite nicely, and old light number 2 is rocking that lantern softbox for a nice little bit of fill. Aw yeah. These parts I usually do on a Saturday afternoon or night, but for reasons we'll get into later, this was done on a weeknight. Admittedly, I tried to get through this quickly so I wasn't hitting the hay too late, but for once, I actually got what I was looking for on a weeknight in 20 minutes. Right here just says it all.
Yes. Oh my god, I fucking got it.
With 99% of the footage needed, I can start cutting away, place the music, and all that jazz. A nice thing that helps me out is exporting rough cuts at 720p and getting them over to my phone. Since mobile devices can account for a good amount of view traffic, it really helps to make sure it looks and sounds good through what the final video will actually be viewed on. Once it passes that test and I'm happy with the last rough cut, I usually render out the final video, but I still needed the ending, which ended up invoking old Murphy and his annoying fucking law. So the original ending called for destruction of the Jab with a little help from Resident Evil masochist Notorious Base on a Saturday afternoon, but unfortunately, he couldn't make it due to something getting sprung on him last minute. I soldiered on and hollowed out the jab by removing the PCB and these weights that retro fighters threw in because the plastic is so fucking light a gust of wind could take it away and shove some fake blood packs in their place. The hope was that when the saw cuts through, the blood would gush out. It did the opposite. Between the jab being lighter than air and saw blade being kicked to shit, no blood packs burst. And to make matters worse, Mother Nature was doing the old, I might rain, I might not, like an indecisive girlfriend, which did not help in the slightest. The ending was a case of quick thinking and saved in the fucking edit. I'm happy with how it came out considering the circumstances, but goddammit, this was more of a pain in the ass to film than when I roasted the brawlers back in November of 23. Maybe down the line I'll revisit taking the saw to something with gushing fake blood, but that's a future me problem. Once that migraine was over and dropped in, we got the video on this very website.
So despite those trials and tribulations for the ending piece, that's how the jab video got fucking made. Everything I said for the jab applies to everything from the Hori pad onward as well. The only real differences was the exact ways I lit the table shots and the talking heads, but it gives you a rough idea as to what I put into these things because I'm a slight masochist who hates himself just a little bit, but also has a giant fucking love for this stuff. So to everybody watching this one right now, thank you so much. I've always wanted to do a behind the scenes video. Fun fact, when I was a little kid, I could watch the making of features for movies just as much as the movies themselves and just be fascinated by all of this shit. So anybody watching this, you really have my fucking thanks. If you happen to stumble across this video before the main one, that's in the description. Go check it out. It's not a half bad video, and I say it's a good swan song to controller reviews as a whole. So thank you everybody for watching the main shit, this shit. This little bugger right here is doing cartwheels right now because he's always wanted to do this. So it really, really means a fucking lot to me. Thank you so much. Y'all are some beautiful, beautiful motherfucking bastards, and I say that with all the love I can muster in my tar-riddled lungs and heart. Stay frosty, bitches.
I want the camera. I want to take a picture of you.
The real difference was really just mating. Not mating. Mating. Fuck. I'm gonna have to do an outtake thing at the end of this. God damn it.